Coming up this week on the Film Podcast.
And it's a little bit like the series that you worked on called Genius, which chronicles the life of Albert Einstein, played by Jeffrey Rush, and the pilot was directed by Oscar-winning director Ron Howard.
Absolutely. And I think being a re-recording mixer subconsciously has been an enormous help, because every day I go to work, because I work at one of the largest audio post facilities in LA. I've always worked on higher level projects mostly. And so kind of subconsciously realizing and learning about everything, whether it's editorial or acting or storyline. And I really feel I've learned subconsciously all of these things about making something good, so that when I go in to do my own projects, I can look at something and go, no, this has got to change. I've got to move this here. I've got to switch to this angle here. But even on the shooting level, I pay a lot of attention to lighting now. It's because of looking at a big screen in front of me every day when I'm mixing. It's like you said, really, truly learning from the best. And I think that that's just been a big advantage for myself. So even though I didn't start directing my first thing until I was 55, I really feel I've kind of been able to take a little bit of a shortcut to gradually making sure that my shorts were really good in a fairly short amount of time.
And now that you've discovered film directing, what are some of the surprises for you?
I'm actually able to do it. I think the big surprise is that what I'm realizing is, I don't want this to be taken the wrong way, but I come from a time where, especially a place where I always thought that, being a director or a filmmaker, those are special people. What I've learned is that they're not. They're just people that wanted to direct and went out and did it. I think the necessity for having to go to film school is becoming less and less. I understand that there are people that really need that structured thing. I think that, this need of spending $150,000 on film school isn't really necessary anymore. And especially with equipment being so inexpensive now, my whole thing is, and I see this on Facebook a lot of times, people say, should I buy a camera or rent? And some people will say, no, rent. I have the exact opposite philosophy. If you're going to be a filmmaker, buy your equipment. If you want to make a single film, yes, rent. But I think by having your own equipment, you can spend a lot more time experimenting and teaching yourself to be a better filmmaker if you have your own equipment.
Well, you've started a little bit late in terms of becoming a filmmaker. So what would you say to someone listening to the podcast who perhaps is a little bit older, who might just be thinking, I could do that? I can tell stories.
Yeah, regardless of your age, if you want to make films, just go out, buy a camera, and start making films and hook up with local filmmakers. The first films you make are going to be crap, like mine were. Every movie you make, you're going to learn something. And eventually, within a very probably short period of time, after doing enough of them, you'll be making some good movies. Yeah, that's my advice. Just do it.